This video is all about proportions again, but this time, this one's about the grid method. Hopefully this will make sense to you. A lot of the hyperrealism artists use it, so it's a really good one for nailing detail and working out what goes where. What you will need for this video is a piece of paper, a really light pencil, an iPad or a phone where you can upload your favourite photo and stick a grid over the top of it, and then you'll need a ruler. The ruler is really important. I didn't use a ruler because I couldn't find one, but I have got grids on my cutting mat. You need to make sure that your grids are completely square. So go and get all those things and I'll meet you back here. Let's go. Okay, so we need paper and a light pencil, the ruler, which I am using a wooden board, and the iPad. I'm just going to get my iPad ready, get the photo that I want, and set up a grid. You need to make sure that you can change the rows and columns like I am doing now, otherwise you're going to come unstuck when it comes to gridding out your paper and working with the photograph. I'm going to do my grid 1 inch by 1 inch squared. I think on A4 sheet of paper that's perfectly acceptable. You can do them smaller if you wanted to, but I wouldn't go much larger than that or you're going to find it really difficult to get all the detail in. There's way too much room for error. I'll speed this bit up so you don't have to watch it in slow motion, but basically I'm drawing my columns inch by inch. Please make sure that you get this bit right because this is the foundations for your drawing. If you don't get this right, you're going to struggle. Once you've done that grid, you're then going to work out how many squares you've got across and how many squares you've got down, and make sure that your picture is the same. I'm counting the columns and changing the column section. It's set on a square grid, so that won't change anything there. Just double checking, always double check, because if you get this bit wrong, it's going to make your face very wonky. Now I've drawn my lines on my grid a lot darker than you need to, just because I want you to be able to see where I'm at. So please feel free to draw them a lot lighter so you don't have to go around rubbing things out while you're drawing. My top tip is to make sure that your squares on your screen are exactly the same size as the squares on your paper. Your brain finds it a lot easier to copy something at the same size than to try and work out whether it's bigger or smaller and whereabouts it is on the page. Obviously this starts to get a little bit more tricky if you're making a large piece of art, but it's still doable, especially with an iPad where you can zoom in on each area. I hope this is all making sense so far. If you've got any questions, please put them in the comments below and I will get back to you. I'm starting off in the right hand corner, mainly because I'm left-handed. If you're right-handed, obviously you want to start on the left so you're not smudging your work as you go along. Because we're not working with hyperrealism, I'm showing you the beginner's way of how to use the grid for proportions. What I'm doing is I'm working square by square, but I'm only putting in the bare basics so we know where the features lie. And then once I've done that, I can go over it with more detail. I want you to always check your squares and check that you're still in the right places, because it's very easy to get lost with these squares and to end up putting the lips in the wrong place or the nose too high up. I hope this video made sense to you. Once you've gridded out your paper, then you can either do it the way that I just showed you, or you can do it the way that I've been trying. This is completely new to me, so I've never done it before, but I've worked square by square, which was actually quite fun, and I quite like the result. Tell me what you think, and whether I should finish it or not. I'd love to see how you get on with your grid method and which way you decide to go, whether you decide to mark out the whole thing in one go, or whether you decide to do square by square. Please check out my other videos if you haven't already, and hopefully see you again soon. Bye!